Art, speak to that from the perspective of someone who's working in technology companies. Entrepreneurs in that space face a lot of challenges. What's in it for them on any of this stuff that we're talking about here?
Well, I think the challenge in the technology space, and let me define technology here very broadly, is software, IT, robotics, alternative energy, biotech, is really a bit different. And it struck me as Joseph was talking about the proportions of ownership, if you will, that were prevalent in the COD industry. And I think if I could state correctly, you said that the employees, the people that were actually creating the value and were taking the risk going out to sea, were getting 60 or 70%
of the profits.
Of the profits. Well, let's turn that today to what occurs in the industries that I've been asked to talk about, which are largely these very high growth, high risk, long life cycle kind of things that require very high capital investments. And if you look at the challenge there, you have multiple players. You kind of have the people in the company, which are the founders, the managers, and the employees who are really creating the value that they're trying to create. And then certainly in most of these fields, you have a number of partners that are required to bring products to market, and biotech being a good example of that. It's a partnering kind of industry. And then you have the money, the angel investors and the venture capitalists. And if you look at how the value is apportioned kind of at the end of the day between those players, you typically find that the money ends up with 60 to 70%. The partners end up with 15 to 20, and probably more if it weren't for GAAP, for consolidation kind of reasons. And then you end up with the people that are creating the value of less than 15%. So it's a very, very small amount. So, the challenges that we see in dealing with innovating in today's economy is really creating an entrepreneurial culture that incentivizes those who are creating the value to have, at the end of the day, or at the exit, as we like to talk about, some significant proportion of the value. Now, most successful entrepreneurs that I know are not in it just for making money. We're in it for making a difference, for basically creating new industries, bringing new products to market, saving lives, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a kind of a long-winded answer, but I think one of the things that we're trying to do in our program with the Foundation for Enterprise Development is really to understand how can we take a paradigm that has existed since Silicon Valley was created and transport that into a model that really incentivizes innovation in these kind of companies. And if you look at the companies that exist, it's been found that largely founder-based companies have a higher propensity to creating not only disruptive innovation, but sustained disruptive innovations. And that tells me that the culture that is created by entrepreneurs is an important thing that we want to study. What is that culture, and how do we map it into these new business models, which I'm sure we'll talk about more.